My name is Hayden Baker and welcome back to Hayden Cinema. Today we're going to be talking about my personal top 10 favorite movies of all time. So coming in at number 10 is going to be Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon is basically what started the buddy cop genre, which normally kind of battles what my favorite genre is with horror and comedy. Buddy cop movies are definitely up there with my favorites, and this one is no different. This one is my number 10 favorite movie of all time. Coming in at 9 is going to be Bad Boys. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are like the best when it comes to buddy cop movies, and their chemistry and the way that their comedy works together is among the best. You have Mel Gibson and Danny Glover with Lethal Weapon that kind of created the genre, and then you have Will Smith and Martin Lawrence that definitely have carried that genre and have surpassed anything that they've created, and now are considered the standard for the genre. Coming in at number 8 is going to be Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. This is hands down my favorite Spider-Man movie ever, the best comic book movie that I've ever seen in my entire life, and nothing could compare. Coming in at number 7 is going to be A Bronx Tale. The great mob movie it's a coming of age movie about a kid growing up in New York City, and his father, played by Robert De Niro, is trying to raise him, getting in trouble a lot, ends up being halfway raised by a mob boss named Sonny, and it has a really good story with a pretty tragic ending. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Die Hard. I don't really care, regardless of what other people say, this is my favorite Christmas movie. Also, with Die Hard, Bruce Willis completely changed the standard for your standard action hero. They went from Arnold and Stallone to guys like Bruce Willis. Now coming in at number 5 is going to be Die Hard with a Vengeance. Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, there's not anything else I can really say about this. Also, I know I have Die Hard above this one, but I wouldn't argue with anybody who has it the other way, and depending on what day you ask me, it might be the other way as well. Now coming in at number 4 is going to be The Lost Boys. This one is my favorite vampire film. I watched this a lot growing up. It's one of the first horror movies I watched, and I watched it religiously with my little brother. Coming in at my number 3 is going to be the movie Seven. Here you have wonderful direction and writing by David Fincher, and then you have Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman playing these two detectives on opposite ends of their careers. Morgan Freeman's about to retire. Brad Pitt's a 5-year vet, and he's barely into it. And when he's just moved to this precinct, he has to solve the grotesque crimes of John Doe. It also has one of the craziest endings ever, and is my favorite ending of any movie ever made of all time. Coming in at my number 2 is going to be Whiplash. Now my number 2 and my number 1 have, again, with the majority of this list, honestly, you can ask me any day of the week from today and they will completely switch, but as of right now I have stuck Whiplash at my number 2. This movie is great through and through, and there's a great story where you have a student and he's destined for greatness and he wants to be great, and nothing in this world could stop him from reaching his goal. And then you have this composer and this teacher that is also destined and striving to create greatness and to have a student that's great and will stop at nothing to get there. And then you have these two that are this tunnel visioned, and they meet up and they go at each other and they're fighting, and you have the sadistic and crazy person that J.K. Simmons is in this movie, mixed with Miles Teller, who isn't a leader, but he is very driven, and he wants to prove everyone he knows, from his dad to the rest of his family to his girlfriend that he breaks up with, to get to where he's got to get to. And the way that this movie ends, there's debate on whether Miles Teller won or whether J.K. Simmons' character wins, and to me it's not about who won. It's about they're both basically getting what they strive for. The final 10 minutes of this film had me standing up and legit cheering for a drummer. Never in my life have I ever cheered for a jazz drummer, but watching this for the first time, I definitely did. As of right now, coming in at my number 1 spot is I Am Legend. Now, I absolutely love dystopian futuristic, apocalypse especially, anything with that automatically catches my attention. And I recently just watched the first season of Last of Us for the first time, and I've been playing the game, and as you can see, I've become a bit obsessed with it. But that type of story really just, there's something about it, and it's a really good character study, and you get to dive into these characters that you see, and they're completely alone until they're not. And that's basically the story here is you have Will Smith and his dog, and they're alone in New York City, and all he is trying to do is just save and restore what is left of this world. And he goes to no end. I've seen it's actually kind of getting some traction here recently, but I understand why it's not critically acclaimed and it's not among the best. It's not a popular choice, but it's one of my favorites because it was a movie that I related to as far as the character goes when I first watched it and the things that I was going through. And I was also on a Will Smith kick too. And to me, it's just one of those movies that I just watched it at the right time, at the right age, and grew up with it, watched it consistently, and I just love everything that it has to offer. Well, that is my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Please let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite top 10 movies of all time? And remember, this is my list. I'm sorry if your movies ain't on here. It's subjective, not objective. I hope you enjoyed watching this just as much as I enjoyed making it for you. I'll see y'all guys next time.